Live. This is Good Morning Connecticut on News 8.
Good morning, everyone. Right now at 6, we've been following breaking news in Cheshire, and we are expecting an update momentarily from this overnight house fire. The chief expected to give us an update soon. We'll be dipping into it live for you.
Also ahead, a New Haven High School student currently being detained by ICE, expected to be returned to New England today. We'll get you caught up on his journey coming up. Gil.
Nice morning out there. We do have toasty temps. I'll let you know how hot it gets coming up.
And the state's extreme hot weather protocol is still in effect. We have details on resources available to keep you cool. Good Morning Connecticut at 6 starts right now. And we are so glad you are starting your morning with us. Glad you're here. I'm Laura Hutchinson, and we do have that update right now, starting with the chief in Cheshire. So let's go there live and listen.
Damage. And we're working on extinguishment with our mutual aid partners from Prospect, Southington, and Wolcott. And we're going to be here for a while. We're working with the state fire marshal's office to try to do a cause and origin investigation.
What happens next to try and figure out if this person is still in the house?
We have our detectives, the chief's detectives, are working at the hospitals, and like I said, there's a lot of moving parts right now. So we're going to try to find out where everybody is and what's going on right now. So there's kind of still in motion, but we didn't want to leave you guys in limbo and not tell you what we're doing. So that's kind of where we're at this moment in time.
Are you able to share the ages of the people? And
I don't know the ages. It's a male.
That you're looking for?
But an adult man.
Adult male.
Okay.
That from what we're told, and that's, well, a lot of it's hearsay, so I can't really confirm anything. From what we are aware of, it's an adult male that we're looking for, and we don't know if he was in the house or out of the house. So we're doing. There's a lot of the chief's got a lot of stuff going on right now, trying to follow leads and do things. But we do have the one occupant. Was transported to the hospital and is under evaluation right now.
And is that a man or a woman?
That's a male.
Okay.
It's a male.
And what was the relationship between the two?
I don't know. I wouldn't know. I would be lying if I told you if I knew. So I know right now there's a male under observation at the hospital, and we're trying to confirm the other person that potentially could have been in the house.
I know you said you're trying to find the origin, but can you explain for us like how badly the house is damaged, or are there specific parts of the kitchen that's
The house is extensively damaged. It appears to have started in the rear of the house. But we have not confirmed that yet. Our investigators, along with the state fire marshal's office, are working in unison to figure that out. We'll have more answers later on. I would like to give you more answers. I just don't have them at this point in time. So as soon as we get them, we'll share them.
Was there any damage to neighboring homes on this?
No, neighboring houses are fine. There's no danger to any of the neighbors or the other area homes or anything like that. It was confined to the structure of origin.
And can you tell us in this case why the state fire marshal is called in?
We generally call the state fire marshal's office for any time there may be potential bodily injury or an extensive dollar loss, because they're the experts and that's what they do every day, all day. So we tend to call them because we want to make sure that we get it right. So that's why we call the state fire marshal's office.
We could see a lot of people hanging out on the lawns down there. Were those neighbors? Were those concerned family members?
Neighbors. Yeah, the neighbors. Obviously, clearly at 3 o'clock in the morning when this is going on in your neighborhood, you wake up and want to know what's going on. So.
Would you say the home is a total loss?
I think that's fair to say.
I would say yes, it's a total loss. And anytime you have catastrophic incidents such as these, they take a long time to sort through. So like the chief said, we are working with our regional partners. It will be a fairly lengthy investigation, and we'll be happy to release more when we have it. But out of respect and empathy for families and everybody involved, we're going to leave it at that for now.
Is there any indication the person that you're looking for could have been like at work or something? Like.
That's exactly what we're looking. We're working on right now. The chief's got his lead. He's following a bunch of leads.
It would be premature to let anything go in the media and then have to retract it at some point. So when we release something, it's going to be factual. Like there's a lot of people involved. There's family members, and out of respect for their privacy, and we're going to just leave it at that.
Is it tough for investigators? Obviously, we don't know where this person is, whether they're in the hospital or at work, like you mentioned, but is it tough just knowing that they could potentially be looking for a body? Are these situations tough for first responders too.
Certainly, any situation like this is tough for first responders, but we're professionals, and certainly we have the utmost professionalism here in Cheshire and our regional partners. This is what they do every day. This is what they train for, and while it takes its toll, we do have services in place, such as employee assistance programs and stuff. But like I said, they're professionals, and this is what we do.
Now that the fire's out, who handles the search for this person inside? Is it the fire department or state police?
It's our firefighters. Cheshire firefighters will do the investigation in conjunction with Cheshire police detectives and the state fire marshal's office. Will work in conjunction, in tandem. And when we have a building collapse on the back part of the building, so we're going to have to start peeling layers off and doing an extensive search for whatever there might be, whether it's cause and origin or whether it's finding a victim. We'll work together with our partners and we'll figure it out.
And so the second floor collapsed down onto the first?
In certain parts of the building, that's correct.
And like what part of the home was that in? Like
the rear portion of the house.
Like what rooms are back there? I'm saying, are they just bedrooms?
It's a typical
like
4-bedroom colonial, like that one you're looking at, like the rear deck, the rear living room portion.
So there is a deck on the back. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can't see anything. That's why I'm just asking.
No. I'm trying to paint a picture for you. That's all.
Okay. Is there anything else?
All right, getting the latest from the fire chief and police there on Brookside Place in Cheshire. It looks like one man hospitalized. Search for another possible man underway right now with extensive damage to that home.
Yeah, and that on Brookside Place happened overnight. Very serious fire. Brittany Taylor's there. When we get more information, we'll go right back out to her live.
All right. Yeah, we hope for the best there, but tough situation in Cheshire. How about the weather?
All right. Well, we have quiet weather for the day ahead, but it is going to be hot. We do have lower air quality with an air quality alert today. 66 in New Haven, most of the state with these air quality alerts. So if you have any breathing issues, not the best of air today. 50s and 60s now later on today. How toasty? Let's go 80s to mid 90s. There is going to be some humidity, but not nearly as bad as what we had last week and what we will get tomorrow because it is going to rise. I'll be back. We'll take a look when thunder may move through and the latest with a new tropical storm coming up.
All right. Well, thank you. Well, as you can see with our map right here, still pretty quiet when it comes to the roads as far as Waterbury goes. There's a look for you. Traveling 84, Danbury 84, and around the capital city as well. Our map is being a little funky right here, but I do want to make mention because it was just reported in Stonington, 95 northbound is closed between exits 91 and 92. And this is because of an accident. Again, was just reported a short time ago. We don't have cameras in the Stonington area, but I do want to pass that along. We'll work on making some graphics for you just so we can really zoom into the area, show you where those exits are. But again, Keith and Laura, Stonington, 95 north is closed between exits 91 and 92.
Alyssa, thank you. The state's extreme hot weather protocol still in effect until at least Thursday night. Governor Lamont activating it to protect our more vulnerable populations. So that means cooling centers will be open across the state. For a full list of those centers, you can head to our website at WTNH.com. And we're back with more of Good Morning Connecticut after a short break.
Good morning, everyone. 11 minutes after 6 happening today. A New Haven high school student detained by ICE agents is scheduled to be back in New England.
The young man, referred to by supporters as Estrus, was shipped off to a detention facility in Louisiana.
News 8's Ken Pierce, live for us outside Wilbercross High School this morning with what we have learned. Good morning, Kent.
Lauren, Keith, good morning to you. This young man's plan for the summer was to work at a car wash for a while before returning to classes here at Wilbercross High School in a couple of weeks. But car washes across Connecticut have been frequent targets of ICE agents this summer. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers detained Estrus in his East Haven job on July 21st. Estrus is known in his community here as a hard-working student. His supporters point out President Trump ran on the promise to deport dangerous criminals. And instead, they say ICE seems to be targeting productive members of the community with no violent history. After being detained in Massachusetts, then New Hampshire, and finally Louisiana, he was scheduled to be deported to his native Guatemala. That part of the plan was canceled a couple of weeks ago. The community rallied and protested. His lawyer filed paperwork, all designed to get him to stay in the U.S. and to be held closer to friends and family here in New Haven. Estras claims he will be in danger if he returns to Guatemala. Today is the day that he is allegedly going to be transferred to a detention facility somewhere here in New England. In New Haven, Ken Pierce, News 8.
Ken, thank you. Brand new this morning, the Weathersfield Volunteer Fire Department being cited for a serious violation following an incident where a firefighter was killed in the line of duty last year.
News 8's Natasha Lubchenko has the latest for us and what we have learned in this report. Good morning, Natasha.
Good morning. Well, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, otherwise known as OSHA, conducted an inspection on the Weathersfield Volunteer Fire Department following the death of firefighter Robert Sharkovich back in 2024. The 66-year-old was killed when a utility vehicle rolled over while fighting a brush fire on Lamentation Mountain in Berlin. OSHA's report states that while driving over uneven terrain, Sharkovich's UTV rolled over and struck him in the head and neck. 3 additional firefighters were also hurt that day. OSHA, as we know, is a federal agency with the primary mission of ensuring safe and healthy working conditions for employees, and is now saying that, quote, serious violations were made by the Weathersfield Volunteer Fire Department, now citing them for $640 for those violations. Now, we are still working to, of course, confirm what those serious violations are. We will, of course, update you once we learn more here on air and online. In the newsroom, Natasha Lubchenko. Good morning, Connecticut. We'll be right back.
We are following breaking news out of Cheshire. Crews on the scene of a house fire, serious one overnight in Cheshire.
That's right. We were just getting an update from the fire department. News 8's Brittany Taylor out there live on scene for us now with what he said. Good morning, Brittany.
Good morning, Laura and Keith. And as you heard in that update, one adult man has been hospitalized and another adult man is still missing at this time. So it's unclear if this fire is fatal. It's unclear if that man is still inside of the home or if he wasn't home at the time of the fire, which broke out just after 3 a.m. this morning here on Brookside Place. So crews right now, as you can see behind me, still on scene. They are combing through the rubble as we speak. And we're told by both the fire chief and the police chief that there are extensive damages to that home. The fire is believed to have started in the rear of the home, and we are told that the second floor collapsed into the first floor. So again, extensive damage here. Still unclear if there were working smoke alarms, but again, one person hospitalized and another person remains missing at this time. So still unclear if this was a fatal fire. But we do know that this is a joint investigation between the Cheshire Fire Department, Cheshire Police, and we also just saw State Police's Fire Investigation Unit pull up on the scene. So we will continue to bring you the latest updates. Stay with us both on air and online, WTNH.com. Live in Cheshire, Brittany Taylor, News 8.
Brittany, thank you. A lot of questions still need to be answered.
Yeah, a lot happening there this morning.
All right, let's talk about our weather day ahead. That's going to be pretty good if you like hot summer weather.
Yeah.
It's all you.
Good. Yeah.
August at its nicest today because even the humidity is not going to be as wicked as it could be. You know how it goes. We get into those dog days of summer with endless humid days. Enjoy today because the humidity ramps up tomorrow. Unfortunately, from Attawagan all the way down to Greenwich, we do have air quality alerts. That includes New Haven. That includes also Waterbury. Now, the northwest corner, you're not in it, but you will have similar conditions as well with the not so good air quality. Same thing in southeastern Connecticut all the way out through Boston as well, even Providence. Very pretty sunrise. And look at how flat that water is, just like yesterday morning. But just like yesterday afternoon, there are going to be some waves out there as each afternoon we pick up that south-southwest wind up to about 20 miles per hour. Hartford at 65 degrees. There's the muggy meter. You see that line going up for tonight and tomorrow, and it goes up even higher tomorrow night into Thursday. then it drops down. Then it's so-so through the course of the coming weekend. I do think you'll notice that drop Friday into Saturday before it ramps back up on Sunday. Our temps are going to go high today. We're going to be around 90-ish, New Haven, Waterbury, Torrington, 91, Meriden, Hartford to Enfield, Bloomfield, Broadbrook today about 93, 91 in Greenwich and Stamford. Coolest will be southeastern Connecticut, basically from the bottom of the Connecticut River over. That's where temps will be the lowest. Danielson today, 91. Let's go quickly through today's hour-by-hour forecast. Other than a few cirrus clouds, it's going to be lit with sunshine and heat for the afternoon. Now, tomorrow, a couple of spotty thunderstorms will kick in during the afternoon, but this is not enough to shut down this talk of brush fires. This is not enough to soak your flowers, your garden. These are going to be random tomorrow. And another opportunity coming through on Thursday with hit or miss showers and storms. They may be a little more of a hit on Thursday than what we expect tomorrow. And then we're back to dry and sunny weather on Friday. Take a look at Tropical Storm Erin. That's going to be moving to the west as a major hurricane. This plot right here is during the coming weekend. Then we will watch that turn to the north. Some of the model data expands that wind field wider as it makes that turn. So we're going to have to watch it later on next week. Today, please be careful in the heat, especially all of you that work outside. 80s to mid-90s. Great beach weather today. High tide 12:30 to 2:30 during the middle of the day. Spotty storms tomorrow and Thursday. Lower humidity Friday. Right now, plans are a go. Outdoor plans for the weekend.
All right, Gil. Well, let's zoom on into Stonington right here. We still see a purple line. Now, a little while ago, there was a closure reported on 95 in that northbound direction. But according to the DOT in their most updated list, that accident, that closure has cleared. So if you are traveling anytime soon in that direction, again, 95 north through Stonington, maybe traveling to Rhode Island, I would just proceed with caution. Plan to budget some extra time. But according to the DOT's latest update, Department of Transportation, that is, the area is back open, so that's some good news. Taking you to Waterbury, traffic is still quiet for you. We haven't seen any accidents in Waterbury. That's great. Traveling 84, traveling Route 8. Making the commute to New Haven, 84, 691, then 91, 31 minutes. At around a half hour as you head towards the New York line, traveling through areas like Newtown, like Danbury, 26 minutes, Waterbury to Hartford.
Okay. All right, Alyssa, thank you. 6:22 now, and while textbooks are away this summer, kids are tapping into learning right in our own backyard. We are heading to New Haven in What's Right with Schools. The safety gear is on, boats pushed into the water. Class is in session at Schooner Day Camp in New Haven.
Schooner Day Camp is part of Gather New Haven. It's one of their signature programs, and this year Schooner celebrates its 50th anniversary.
A big year here, and just as exciting for kids as it's always been.
Well, we've been going sailing in the mornings, and then sometimes we go to the preserve in the afternoon.
Summers here spent learning from those who have been through the program themselves.
I get to teach the kids the same things that I learned when I went here as a camper.
Our boat operator of the day is also one of the sailing instructors, and the kids are learning a lot.
I know the closed hull, the beam reach, the broad reach, and the run. And I know the iron.
You can see it's windy out here, and that's part of the lesson. The kids learn to tell which direction it's coming from and trimming their sails accordingly. But not everything goes as planned when you're on the water.
Well, we've capsized a few times. Once when they were on a day, there was really high wind that day.
It's part of the fun in the sun, learning to be good stewards of the environment. Part of that is understanding what lives here.
Different types of crabs, Asian shore, sometimes green, blue, fit very interesting shells. I think right now they're crabbing, trying to look for as many crabs as I can. They release them afterwards.
It's What's Right with Schools. In New Haven, Laura Hutchinson, News 8. Good morning, everyone. 6:26 new developments we're following here. President Trump extending the trade truce with China for another 90 days. The previous deadline was set to expire at midnight this morning. The U.S. is threatening to raise tariffs on China if the two nations are unable to reach a new trade deal. In response, Beijing has threatened to raise retaliatory levies on U.S. exports to China. The extension buys time for the two sides to work out a new deal.
2 people are dead, at least 10 others injured following an explosion at a steel mill just outside of Pittsburgh. Emergency crews are still searching through the rubble for a missing worker at this hour. We are told the explosion at the U.S. Steel Clarendon Works plant happened just before 11 o'clock yesterday morning. Health officials are also urging those who live within a mile of that plant to remain indoors and close all of their windows and doors due to air quality concerns. The cause of that blast is still under investigation.
And we're staying on top of breaking news for you in Cheshire. We have a crew live on scene where there's been a house fire overnight on Brookside Place. We just got an update from the fire chief within the last half hour. 1 man hospitalized, 1 still missing right now. Again, Brittany Taylor out there gathering all the latest for you. We'll bring you a live report on the other side of the break.
Live. This is Good Morning Connecticut on News 8.
Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us on what is turning out to be a very busy Tuesday morning. We are following serious breaking news out of Cheshire. Crews on the scene of an overnight house fire.
That's right. News 8's Brittany Taylor has been out there live for us on scene, working to learn more information. She just spoke with the police chief not too long ago and the fire chief there. Brittany, good morning. What can you tell us?
Laura, Keith, good morning. Well, we just saw some more movement on scene. Some ambulances have cleared the scene, but the search continues for a missing man in this morning's house fire taking place at 30 Brookside Place, just down the street from where we are. And at this point, we also know that another man has been hospitalized. So at this point, it is unclear whether that missing person was inside of the home or whether they weren't home at the time of this fire, which broke out just after 3 this morning. So Cheshire police are looking at all leads here. In the meantime, we're told by the Cheshire fire chief that there is extensive damage. I want to show you some pictures that we gathered earlier when we first got to the scene. Quite a sizable response, about a dozen fire trucks from local fire departments, including Southington and Prospect. State police were also on the scene, and we did see, again, those ambulances that have since cleared. But we still don't know the cause of this fire. It is believed that the flames started from the rear of the home, and we were also told by the fire chief that there was a second floor collapse. So again, at this hour, crews continuing to sift through that damage to see if they can find this missing person. And in the meantime, Cheshire's police chief spoke about how first responders are doing as they continue this investigation. Take a listen.
Any situation like this is tough for first responders, but we're professionals, and certainly we have the utmost professionalism here in Cheshire and our regional partners. This is what they do every day. This is what they train for, and while it takes its toll, we do have services in place, such as employee assistance programs and stuff. But like I said, they're professionals, and this is what we do.
At this point, it is unclear if there were working smoke alarms, but again, here on Brookside Place, fire crews continuing to sift through the damage to see if they can try and find that missing person. 1 person missing in this morning's early morning house fire, and another person, an adult man, has been hospitalized. This is a joint investigation between Cheshire Fire, Cheshire Police, as well as State Police's Fire Investigation Unit, which is called, we're told, when there is significant bodily harm or when there is really significant damage to a home. So again, we are continuing to bring you the latest updates here on this breaking news situation. Stay with us both on air, online, WTNH.com. Live in Cheshire this morning, Brittany Taylor, News 8.
All right, Brittany, thank you. And we'll be checking in with Brittany throughout the morning as that story continues to develop in Cheshire.
Right.
All right, let's talk about a forecast that's going to be on the hot side today, but the humidity is actually going to end up lower for this time of the year. I wanted to start with this beautiful view in Middletown and Portland, obviously because it's beautiful. But the second point, we're not seeing any fog this morning so far, and I do think we will see some tomorrow morning. We do have lower air quality in today's forecast with air quality alerts, and temperatures mostly in the 60s now, even a few places in the upper 50s. But with this drier air, again, it's not perfect. There's a little humidity, but temps are going to move up fast today, 80s to mid 90s. Make sure you use that sunscreen. Tomorrow is when we may have the first spotty thunderstorms. I'll show you that. We'll take a look at a future major hurricane across the Atlantic and where that may go coming up.
All right, Gil, thank you. Well, let's point out one more time for you that traveling through Stonington is okay at this point. We had a closure. It didn't last long, but there was a closure because of an accident said to be involving 2 vehicles. The crash has cleared, and the area 95 north through Stonington is back open. But we see a little bit of a slowdown here, pointing out that yellow that turns into red, indicating slow-moving traffic through Stonington, but a lot better than being completely shut down. Around Hartford, nice and green. We love pointing that out. Traveling nicely for you. Maybe heading to Windsor Locks. We'll talk about flights out of Bradley in just a moment. Or maybe heading in that southbound direction. Not bad for you. Here's a look. 91 by exit 33. Making the commute south to New Haven, 35 minutes. 11, Keith and Laura. Hartford to the start of Route 9. 26 to Waterbury. And yes, flights look good out of regional airports.
Alyssa, thank you. Right now at 6:34, look at some of our other top stories on a Tuesday morning. New Haven police still searching for the suspect accused of sexually assaulting a woman over the weekend at Fort Nathan Hale Park. Police say that suspect is described as a Hispanic man in his late 30s, early 40s with a medium build, dark beard and dark close-cropped hair. The locals we talked to say they were not surprised to hear about the attack and that the city needs to do more in the name of safety at local parks.
An important reminder now to check for ticks. The Connecticut Agricultural Experiment Station says 4 exotic tick species have been found in the state in recent years. They say the ticks likely hitched a ride on travelers returning to the state. Experts believe they came from Guatemala, Costa Rica, Belize, Tanzania, and parts of Europe.
Going to be hot out there for a few more days, and the state's extreme hot weather protocol will remain in effect until at least Thursday night. Governor Lamont has activated it, looking to protect our most vulnerable populations. So that means those cooling centers will be open all across our state. For a full list of those centers, come into our website at WTNH.com.
Police in Hampden are investigating a shooting that left 1 person injured. This happened Sunday night near Dixwell Ave and Collins Street just before 11 p.m. When officers got to the scene, they found a large crowd in the streets. Witnesses say a person was shot and then drove themselves to the hospital. Officers spoke to that victim. They are expected to be okay, we're told. Anyone with information, though, is asked to give police a call.
The Office of the Inspector General investigating an officer-involved shooting that left 1 person dead happened Saturday night on Gifford Lane in Bosra. State police say troopers were called to an active disturbance involving a gun. The name of the person who was killed has not been released. Of course, stay with News 8 on air and online for updates.
And if you can take a look at your screen here, these photos released by Newington Police. They're hoping to identify the people here in these pictures. Officers say they were driving recklessly, endangering others, and on mopeds and motorbikes on the Berlin Turnpike on Saturday. If you recognize any of these people, you're urged to give police a call.
A former Sacred Heart University student pleading no contest to assault charges in a serious crash involving 4 other students back in 2023. 21-year-old Tyler Delk will be sentenced in October. His attorney expects him to get more than 4 years behind bars. The warrant shows Delk was drunk and going 86 miles an hour when he crashed head-on into an Uber that was carrying 4 female students on Jefferson Street right near the Fairfield University campus.
6:37 now. The Stratford community grieving the loss of a 6-year-old boy who sadly died in the Housatonic River last week. His grandmother spoke to us off camera, saying his name is Jose Martinez. Stratford police say Martinez was out with his mother on the Birdseye boat ramp last Wednesday when he fell into the water. Police and Marine units spent days searching for him. His body was later found Friday afternoon by civilian boaters. The medical examiner telling News 8 autopsy results show the boy died from an accidental drowning. Stratford police tell us their investigation into the incident is still ongoing.
The YWCA daycare center in New Britain will be staying closed a little bit longer than first expected. Officials now say that daycare will reopen on the 25th of this month instead of the 24th. The center closed after two-year-old boy choked to death there. Multiple investigations are now underway.
A 16-year-old girl is recovering after being trapped by a sweeper bar at a Windsor Locks bowling alley. Police say the teen is an employee at Spare Time on El Grasso Turnpike. Preliminary reports show the teen had tried to clear the lane when the sweeper bar came down, likely restricting her breathing and causing her to black out. Other employees had to manually raise the bar. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration was notified and is responding.
Happening today, a New Haven high school student detained by ICE agents scheduled to be back here in New England.
The young man, referred to by supporters as Esdras, was shipped off to a detention facility in Louisiana.
News 8's Ken Pierce live for us outside of Wilbur-Cross High School in New Haven this morning with the latest. Ken.
Lauren, Keith, good morning. This is where Esdras was expecting to come back to class to resume school in a couple of weeks. Instead, he has spent the last couple of weeks at a federal detention facility 1,000 miles away from here. That should change today. The community rallied and protested. His lawyer filed paperwork, all designed to get him held closer to friends and family here in New Haven. Esdras had been spending the summer working at a car wash in East Haven. On July 21st, ICE agents seized him and locked him up. ICE has done the same at several local car washes this summer. After being detained in Massachusetts, then New Hampshire, he was shipped to Louisiana and he was scheduled to be deported to his native Guatemala. That plan was canceled a couple of weeks ago. Esdras claims he will be in danger if he returns to Guatemala. Today is the day he was supposed to be transferred to a detention facility somewhere in New England. Esdras is known in his community here as a hardworking student, and his supporters point out that President Trump campaigned on the promise of deporting dangerous criminals, and instead they say ICE seems to be targeting productive members of the community with no violent history. In New Haven, Kent Pierce, News 8.
All right, Kent, thank you for that update. And new this morning, the Wethersfield Volunteer Fire Department is being cited for a serious violation following that incident where a firefighter was killed in the line of duty last year.
News 8's Natasha Lubchenko live in our newsroom this morning with the latest on what we know at this point. Natasha, good morning.
Good morning. Well, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, otherwise known as OSHA, conducted an inspection on the Wethersfield Volunteer Fire Department following the death of firefighter Robert Sharkovich. That was back in 2024. The 66-year-old was killed when a utility vehicle rolled over while fighting a brush fire on Lamentation Mountain in Berlin. OSHA's report states that while driving over uneven terrain, Sharkovich's UTV rolled over and struck him in the head and neck. 3 additional firefighters were also hurt that day. OSHA, as we know, a federal agency with the primary mission of ensuring safe and healthy working conditions for employees, and is now saying that serious violations were made by the Wethersfield Volunteer Fire Department, now citing them for $640 for those violations. They will have to pay that fine. So we are still working to confirm what those serious violations are. We will, of course, update you as soon as we learn more here on air and online, WTNH.com. In the newsroom, Natasha Lubchenko, News 8.
All right, Natasha, thank you. Well, does Capital One owe you some money? What the financial service company is accused of doing that may have cost customers billions of dollars.
And it's almost time to head back to school. Details on how you can snag a free backpack in the Hartford area after the break.
Happening today, getting to be that time of the year. Back to school time, and there will be a backpack giveaway in Hartford As parents and students get ready for that first day of class, items will be distributed on a first-come, first-served basis, and the event will take place at The Village, which is a social service agency serving at-risk families and children in the greater Hartford area. And that event gets going at 10 o'clock this morning.
So exciting. The University of Connecticut introducing 2 new electric buses. They will be used on the Storrs campus starting this month. The switch comes after Governor Lamont's executive order in 2021 to transition from diesel to zero emissions models.
Okay, the risk of brush fires is on the rise here in our state. New Haven's fire chief says that if you are doing any cooking outside, to make sure your grill or appliance is monitored at all times. Keep all dried brush at least 5 feet away from your home, and to make sure you always have a plan while having a bucket of water or extinguisher nearby. If you do see a fire or suspicious smoke, throw water on it if possible and immediately call 911. You can check Connecticut's DEEP website every day for an update on the daily fire danger.
Yeah, usually this time of the year we're at least getting those every afternoon scattered downpours, but we haven't even had that. So
it's been dry for a little while.
Extremely dry.
Yeah, right.
And we're running about 12 inches below normal at the shoreline for the running 2025 total.
And we've got a few more days of no rain, right?
Well, spotty, that's the problem. We need that widespread soaking.
Yeah.
I just don't see much of that. Now, let's take a look, though, at a picture-perfect summer day. I mean, if you're off today and it was the day you chose to go to the beach with the family from like 3 months ago, wow, you must have connections. Awesome weather outside now. It stays like this all day long. There is a little haze on the horizon. We do have lower air quality today across the state in the forecast. So any of you with COPD or asthma, it's not wildfire smoke. It's typical summer weather pattern pollution in the air. 66 in New Haven. Very pretty cityscape of Hartford, lit just right. It's golden hour. 65 degrees in the capital city. You will have temps up above 90 degrees today. Now, Litchfield County, don't feel left out. Similar conditions for you down to New York City, all along the shoreline, central, northern, eastern Connecticut, all the way over to Boston and Providence in this air quality alert, even Springfield, Mass. as well. Our temps are beautiful, 50s and 60s out there. Yes, there's a little hint of humidity, but it's not as bad as what August could give us and what August will give us tonight and tomorrow. Tonight, this thing goes all the way up for more humidity, and that's around all the way into Thursday before it drops dramatically coming up on Friday. And then over the weekend, it'll be comfortable Saturday. Then the humidity goes up for Sunday. Our hour-by-hour forecast, picture perfect today. Just make sure kids at camps are drinking the water that you provide. They are actually drinking it. And also, let's remember all of the pets as well. And please consider that asphalt, that pavement temperature will be around 170 degrees. That's not good for the paw pads. A couple of clouds, cirrus near us. That's about it. No issues. Let's talk about tomorrow, though. Some scattered pop-ups. Here we go at 2, 3, 4 p.m. But look at how widely scattered they are, where 90% of the state would have the sun shining, 10% of the state a passing downpour or an isolated thunderstorm. Many of us will not even get a drop tomorrow, as the sun will be shining. I think on Thursday, there's an opportunity for more of us to at least have a passing shower or storm. But even this, notice the map, it is not widespread. So we just don't see that widespread rain. Here's what we do see in the tropics, though. Tropical storm Erin. This is going to strengthen to a Category 3 major hurricane. Here it is this weekend. Not making that turn yet, but let's cook up some spaghetti. It goes to the west, and then it will eventually make a turn to the north. Now, the further or earlier it makes that turn, the further away it will be. We have a long time to watch it. I want you to check in on it. I will be your tour guide. I'll let you know each morning, but make sure even over the weekend you are checking in coming up. 80s and 90s, be careful in this heat. And if you don't have air conditioning, Try to go to a store, let your body cool off a bit. Outdoor workers obviously hydrate. Perfect beach and boating weather. Enjoy it. Some more humidity, patchy fog tonight. And your extended forecast, those spotty storms, we need a lot more than what Mother Nature is going to give us for tomorrow and Thursday. So it demands a repeat. The brush fire danger is up there. Be careful with that. Humidity will be going up there, but then even that drops on Friday. We have a pretty good weekend so far, although it is going to get hot on Sunday. There may be some storms Sunday night. And there's some indication next week, midweek, we may only be around 79, 80 degrees.
Chevy is called the heartbeat of America. Like the people who keep this country moving. For them, only America's most dependable truck will do. In every Chevy truck, dependability comes standard.
Well, the shoreline likely going to be popular once again today, and as we zoom on in to show you, it's nice and green. So if you are heading out the door traveling that way early this morning, you should have a pretty decent commute. Traveling to New Haven, we see a sliver of it right there, into Guilford, Old Saybrook to New London, or if you are traveling to the Rhode Island state line, the delays that we had not long ago in Stonington have eased for you. Traveling in the opposite direction, moving nicely as I step outside of your screen to give you a good look. New London to New Haven, 39 minutes. 15 New London to Old Saybrook, 14 Old Saybrook to Guilford, and just around 11 Guilford to New Haven. Here's a look along Long Wharf. The sun is shining. You will need those sunglasses heading out the door today. Traffic is moving with ease, no problems. Trains look good. Metro North, Shoreline East, Hartford Line, and Amtrak.
Okay. All right, Liz, thank you. Capital One Bank has agreed to a $425 million settlement. The bank is accused of failing to raise interest rates on 360 savings accounts. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau says Capital One cheated customers out of more than $2 billion. Capital One has not admitted to anything. The settlement includes customers who had that savings account between September 18th, 2019 and June 16th of this year.
Older adults are losing more money to scams than ever before. New FTC data shows that adults aged 60 and older lost more than $445 million last year, and that's only counting people who lost at least $100,000 apiece. Now, to give you some perspective, that's 8 times higher than the amount lost in 2020. Data shows those scams usually involve someone contacting consumers to alert them to a fake or urgent problem. Scammers then urge the victim to transfer money to keep it safe.
Connecticut Attorney General William Tong and 50 other attorneys general are sending warning letters to 37 voice providers demanding they act now to stop illegal robocalls being routed through their networks. You can report any robocalls you get to Tong's office. Connecticut's website Complaint Intake is enabled to gather robocall specific complaint data.
The 4th annual Black Wall Street Festival coming up this weekend in New Haven. The event brings together more than 250 businesses, artists, and performers. It'll be held right on the New Haven Green Saturday from noon until 8 o'clock in the evening. Festival comes during National Black Business Month, the time to shine a light on small Black-owned businesses. It's all part of the city's efforts to improve inclusive economic growth and equitable arts programming. We have more details on this up-and-coming event on the website WTNH.com and also on our free News 8 app. Grocery store owner Stu Leonard Jr. is going to be throwing out the first pitch at the Yankees game tonight. Fans will be able to see that pitch just before the game gets going at 7:05 this evening. The Bombers looking to win Game 2 of their 3-game set with the Minnesota Twins.
Heads up here, West Hartford's annual Pooch Plunge is next week. The Doggy Dive-In is next Monday at the West Hartford Beachland Park Pool. The event is sponsored by the West Hartford Dog Park Coalition and costs $15 to attend. The yearly swim acts as a fundraiser for a permanent dog park in West Hartford. Last year, nearly 200 dogs attended.
Get your dog Ben in the mix for that, maybe?
I think he'd love it.
I think he'd love it, too. All right, we have a lot more ahead on Good Morning Connecticut. Gil and Alyssa, final check on weather and traffic for this hour.
But first, here's a peek at what's coming up on Good Morning America at 7.
In this morning's GMA First Look, Meredith and Madeline Gaudreau open up.
It was just a regular day. The boys were going to golf and the girls were having lunch. there's no healing when you didn't get a goodbye.
I sat down with the widows of hockey players Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau nearly a year after their tragic deaths. The night of August 29, 2024, they were struck and killed by an alleged drunk driver while riding bicycles on the eve of their sister's wedding.
If you ask us to name our favorite players, they've got to be, both boys are going to be among them.
Well, there's a huge hole in our lineup. There's even a larger one in our hearts.
If you think about driving after a few beers or a fun night, please, please, please do not.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have much more with Meredith and Madeline Gaudreau. With your GMA First Look, I'm Will Reeve, ABC News, New York.
.57 time now for News to Go, and we are following breaking news out of Cheshire. Overnight fire on Brookside Place has left one person in a hospital and another man unaccounted for. We were told there is extensive damage to that home after the second floor collapsed onto the first floor. The State Fire Marshal is now investigating.
The Wethersfield Volunteer Fire Department has been fined by the U.S. Department of Labor for serious violations that resulted in the death of a firefighter. OSHA releasing its report. Robert Sharkovich Sr. died during the Hawthorne fire in Berlin last year. The department owes over $640 for violations related to the death.
The state's extreme hot weather protocol will remain in effect until at least Thursday night. The governor activating that protocol to protect our most vulnerable populations. Of course, it means those cooling centers will stay open across the state. For a full list of those centers, check out our website, WTNH.com. And Gil